I have energy, ma'am. Come on.
You are
I'm
on.
acting like a lady that has had 2 cups of coffee when I've only had one. Boom. But you know what I did have? No running this morning, so I have energy that I didn't expend and leave in the streets of San Antonio. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the English Language School. San Antonio sucks the life out of all of us. We just don't realize it. Anyways, good morning, and we are so grateful and happy to have you here. You are beautiful and wonderful students. Today, we will continue our conversation on routines. Oh, that looks good. On routines. What you do in the morning, what we do in the afternoon, and what we do at night. What is your normal routine? Yesterday, if you recall, we talked about routines and then we practiced the vocabulary of words that we use to clean, different tasks and things that we do in the house, household chores. Today, we will continue a portion of that conversation in today's lesson. We are on level 1, unit number 6, lesson number 3. That's unit level 1, unit number 6, lesson number 3. Before we begin, we are going to practice the irregular verbs with the pronunciation. If you are new to the class, we practice these verbs every single day so that we can memorize the form of the verb in the present and the past. When you hear in the video the words, first in the present and then in the past, you will repeat the words after you hear them. So, without more waiting, I believe that we are ready. Okay. First, let's practice with the irregular verbs. We're very happy to have you.
Cut, cut. Do, did. Draw, drew. Drive, drove. Eat, ate. Fall, fell. Feed, fed. Find, found. Fly, flew. Get, got. Give, gave. Go, went. Have, had. Hold, held. Keep, kept. Know, knew. Lead, led. Leave, left. Let, let. Make, made. Mean, meant. Meet, met. Pay, paid. Put, put. Ride, rode. Run, ran. Say, said. See, saw. Sell, sold. Send, sent. Set, set. Sit, sat. Sleep, slept. Speak, spoke. Speed, sped. Spend, spent. Swim, swam. Teach, taught. Tell, told. Think, thought. Throw, threw. Win, won. Write, wrote.
Fantastic. Good morning, Miss Brenda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I missed you. I'm glad to see you again today. Okay, so let's look at our PowerPoint to review the word do, does, don't, and doesn't. As I said earlier, today we are on unit number 6, lesson number 3. Unit 6 and lesson 3. Oh, look, there it is on my screen. Unit 6 and lesson 3. We're continuing our conversation on the, routines and habits. So, let's go to the next slide if we can. Do you watch the news in the morning? When you have a question and we want to ask a question with either a yes or a no, to give a simple question, we begin with one auxiliary. What do I always say? If you want to have a question, it is necessary one auxiliary. So, do you watch the news in the mornings? The answer can be yes, I do, or no, I don't. If you remember, when we have a question, yes or no, as in, do you like coffee? Yes, I do. The answer will incorporate the question. So for example, do you like coffee? Yes. We change the you for I and say, I do. Do you like coffee? Yes, I do. In this question, they ask, do you watch the news in the mornings? You see the S? The S for mornings shows that it is in the present. Tomorrow we will, on Monday, tomorrow we won't be here. On Monday we will talk about the past, when we use the past and why we use the past instead of the present. We will also have a quiz, so be prepared. But today, remember when we talked about the present tense. When do we use the present tense? For something that is routine, for something that is normal, permanent, or true. So here, we are talking about routines. Every morning, or all of the mornings, I watch the news. Do you? Do you watch the news in the mornings? Actually, Miss Brenda, do you watch the news in the mornings? I don't. This is true. I watch the news in the afternoons. So here I gave two parts to my answer. First, no. And then after that, I gave the full response with more information. I watch the news in the afternoons. So Miss Brenda and Miss Kelly, do you, Miss Lorena, quizás estás aquí con nosotros. Do you watch the news in the mornings? Your answer, if it is yes, will be yes, I do, or no, I don't. Hi, Kelly. Hello. Glad to see you. Good morning. So tell me, do you watch the news in the morning? Kelly, do you watch the news in the morning? I will be honest, I do not ever watch the news. Brenda, you are perfect. Excellent structure. No, I don't. Do you watch the news in the morning, Kelly? Ah, Brenda, thank you. Bless. Do you watch the news in the morning? Absolutely. And Kelly says, no, I don't. Perfect, Brenda. Oh, that's excellent. I watch the news in the night. This is excellent. Beautiful structure, excellent sentence. I watch the news in the night. Por cierto, by the way. In the night. Instead of in the night, we are going to say at night. So, I watch the news at night. But your sentence structure was perfect. Who are you talking about? You. So I say I, right? I, and your verb, what's your activity? You watch. What do you watch? You watch the news. And when, at what time? At night. Excellent job. Oh, I'm so happy. Ooh, that's perfect, Kelly. I watch the news in the afternoons. And to add the S at the end is excellent, because you are talking about an activity that is routine every single day, or más o menos, more or less, every day. I watch the news in the afternoons. Both of you are very wonderful people because you watch the news. I do not like the news. But that was excellent. Okay, so we have this wonderful video to talk about do and does and questions about our daily routines. We will watch the video in just one moment, but I want to look at the next slide with the next question. Now here we have the subject of children. Do your children clean their rooms after school? Do your children clean their rooms after school? Again, because we have a question, it is necessary one auxiliary to use. And in this case, what is the subject? The children. And Kelly, children, is it singular or plural? It is plural. Because it is plural, we will use the word do. Do your children clean their rooms at school? Beautiful, Kelly, you're lovely. Oof, thank you. Do your children clean their rooms after school? Because we have a question, we will use the auxiliary do to ask this question of yes or no. First, we have the auxiliary do, and then our subject, your children. Do your children clean their rooms after school? To answer this question, we put those words in reverse. Yes, they do. Do they? Yes, they do. Or in the negative, like we have on the screen, no, they don't. Ms. Brenda, do your children clean their rooms after school? Do your children clean their rooms at all? I'm waiting for Miss Brenda to reply. She will in just a moment. I know it. I'm sorry. Miss Brenda says, no, they don't. When, now we have a question about the time. When do your children clean their rooms? Let's go to the translate if we can, so we can write this full sentence. When do your children, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, I love it. When, all right. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Excellent sentence. I did not know you had children. How many children do you have, Kelly? Sí, me dice. Tengo que saber. When do your children clean their room? Now, my following question is going to be another WH question, where I ask about the frequency. When we talk about routines and habits, often we use the frequency to describe how often. Can you write for me in the Google Translate simply, how often? How often? How often? We want to know it's equal with what frequency? With what frequency? So you can say how often, or you can say with what frequency. Most common is how often. So, how often do your children clean their rooms? How often do your children clean their rooms? Now, similar to beautiful Kelly's example, she gave a big sentence with they clean. So first she put the subject, perfect, they. Then she put the verb, clean, perfect. They clean their rooms after school. So if I ask you the question, how often do your children clean their rooms? Because I have a question, I will use one auxiliary, still the word do. But your answer will not be yes or no. You will change and give a long answer like Kelly. For example, how often do your children clean their rooms? They clean their rooms 1 time per week. Or, They clean their rooms once a week. Now, the question is for you. How often do you clean your room? How often do you clean your room? Oh, that's beautiful, Miss Evie. Thank you. That looks excellent. That's perfect, Miss Brenda. What an excellent sentence. Miss Brenda wrote in the comment section, my son cleans his room once a week. Now, beautiful Brenda, your son, is it a person, a place, or a thing? He is a person. And is he singular or plural? Why, he is singular. So, I clean, and you clean, but he, she, and it cleans with the S. So, my son cleans his room once a week. That is excellent. I love it. Thank you. My son cleans his room once a week. How often do you clean your room? How often do you? Again, because we have a question, we need one auxiliary, the word do in this case. Do you? I clean my room one time per month. Better to be honest. I clean my room one time a month. Beautiful job, Miss Brenda. Beautiful job. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Good job. Excellent correction. My son cleans. I personally, I clean my room maybe one time per month. How often do you clean your room? Let's return to our PowerPoint so that we can review the last two questions and then we will watch the video. It's a strange sound. My son cleans. Brenda did a good job. So did Kelly. I'm proud of both of you. Now where is Lorena? Perfect. Do your children clean their rooms after school? No, they don't. Maybe one time per week. Let's look at the previous question. Do you watch the news in the morning? Do you watch the news in the morning? No, I don't. Or yes, I do. Now, let's look at our video on the difference between do and does with questions like yes and no. When we want to know about yes or no, we'll use these questions like this. Oof, y'all, this looks so good. I'm so proud of you. Doing excellent. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Talking about routines. Whoop, whoop. What do I know? Feel a little Beautiful. Okay, so that was like the shortest video of all time. And Kelly says they clean it every day. Do your kids clean? Kelly, do you have children? How many kids do you have? Chismosa, quiero saber todo. Pero, ¿cuántos niños tienes? How many kids do you have? Tell me. I gotta know. Do you really? How old are they?
Sarah, oh my god.
Okay, fine. I don't. It's fine.
Tell me in a complete sentence.
Can you tell me in a complete sentence? I have 2 children, a boy and a girl, or I have 2 children, 2 boys, or I have 2 children, 2 girls. I guess those are the only options, right?
Mm-hmm.
One full sentence. Okay, so we are going to pull up some of the words that talk about routines, and then we will use how often, and some of our adverbs of frequency. So, beautiful Evie is going to show us first our adverbs of frequency, and then we will look at our, can you guys hear me okay? And then we will look at some words that describe cleaning using the vocabulary from yesterday. So some of the different vocabulary for like mopping or sweeping, that kind of thing. So, for example, always. In the video, you heard the man use the word always and never. He is a interesting man. He says he never wakes up.
Did they hear the video? I might have accidentally muted it.
Yeah, Miss Kelly says that she did not hear the video. So we can play it again, but first I do want to talk about these adverbs of frequency so that it is clear. So you remember I talked about frequently, que tan frecuente, how often. How often does something happen? When you talk about how often, you're going to use your subject and your verb, right? And then before your verb, you tell me how often. For example, 100% of the time, if you look at the very top of the thingy here, always, 100% of the time, no break, always. Always. I always drink a cup of coffee with glass. Every single time, 100% always. I always drink a cup of coffee. Beautiful Brenda, every morning, she says, "Good morning," and she puts a emoji with the sunshine, and every morning I see it and it makes me happy. So every morning, Miss Brenda, she writes good morning, and I just feel, me siento el amor. I feel the love. And every morning, 100% of the time, I always, so I, luego always, y luego drink. I always drink a cup of coffee in the morning. Always, 100% of the time. If it is 90% of the time, we can use the word usually. Usually. So, almost always. Not always, but almost always. For example, I usually exercise in the morning. I usually exercise in the morning. Not always, but usually. We have our subject, I, and then we have the adverb usually to say 90% of the time. I usually, and then after usually, the verb. Exercise. I use my weights, and I run, and I stretch. I exercise. I usually exercise in the morning. Who? I. What? Exercise. But how often? Usually. I usually exercise in the morning. When we have an adverb of frequency, we know it is part of our routine. Therefore, we will use the word exercise in this case in the present tense. Another example, normally or equal generally. So first we had always, then we had usually, now we have normally, generally. Normally, I normally get good grades. 80% of the time, I get good grades. Generally, here's a good example. I generally purchase my groceries on Friday. I normally, so who? I. What? Purchase. En vez de buy, we can say buy or purchase. They're equal. I normally buy my groceries on Fridays. It's every single Friday. How about you? Well, it's not every single, but 80% of the time. Sometimes I don't buy my groceries until Sunday. Woo-hoo. But everyone's a little different. When do you normally buy your groceries? When do you normally buy your groceries? Miss Evie, can we look at the Google Translate and ask that full question? When or what day of the week do you normally buy your groceries? Ooh, Miss Evie's beautiful and fancy. Guys, I'm gonna go thrift shopping. Okay. What day of the week do you normally buy your groceries? What day of the week do you normally buy your groceries? Now remember, normally is 80% of the time. So I normally buy my groceries on Fridays. Sometimes I go to the store on Sunday, and sometimes I go after my work on Monday. But normally, when do you go and buy your groceries? Most excellent, Miss Brenda. I buy my groceries on Monday. On Mondays, with the S is the best because we're talking about every single week. And let's incorporate and use equal. Let's incorporate the word normally. When do you normally buy your groceries? So, can you write my example, Miss Evie? I normally buy my groceries on Friday. You know what? I bet you it's best to buy the groceries on Monday. There's no people and fresh food. That's smart, Miss Brenda. That's very smart. Because Friday, all the food is old. Nobody wants it. That's so smart.
They probably restock over the weekend.
Do they restock? I bet you they do. In fact, I know they do because I go in on Sunday night and they're restocking. Oh God, that's smart, Brenda. That's real smart. I think maybe I will be like beautiful Brenda and we'll shop on Monday now. That's very smart. I normally buy my groceries on Mondays. That's perfect, Brenda. 100% perfect. I normally buy my groceries on Mondays. Beautiful Brenda added the S, the word Mondays, because it's the normal habit she has for most of the Mondays. And she used the word normally before her verb, buy. I normally buy in the present because it's a routine. I normally buy my groceries on Mondays. Beautiful Kelly, when do you normally buy your groceries? Miss Brenda, when do you normally, let's look at a different chore. Do we have a list of chores? Do we have a list? We do. She's so perfect and beautiful and prepared. Oh my goodness. Ooh, oh, this is good. This is good. Can we make it big and show the fold? I want to do that one. Okay, no, actually, let's do iron. Let's do iron. Okay, so here we have wipe, dry, fry, dust, vacuum, iron. Okay. So this lady, she has the thing, la cosa is the iron, se llama iron, and then the verb is also iron. So when you wash your clothes, like my poor shirt here is very perfect example. My poor shirt, I need to iron my shirt. I need to iron my shirt. It's very sad. So, but I don't normally, so now we have it in the negative. I don't, and then now I put the word normally. I don't normally iron my clothes. When do you normally iron your clothes? For me, if I want to say it in the negative, I will say I don't normally. I don't normally iron my clothes. I don't normally iron my clothes. It's not necessarily true, but I do. I do iron my clothes. I don't normally iron my clothes, but if it is positive, I can say I normally iron my clothes on Wednesday. Wednesday is my day. I take my clothes and I normally wash my clothes on Wednesday, and then I normally iron my clothes on Wednesday too. Beautiful Kelly and beautiful Brenda, when do you normally iron your clothes? I'm so proud of you, Brenda. Excellent job. When do you normally iron your clothes? Why did you let me eat? Oof.
I rarely iron my clothes.
So lovely Evie just said, I rarely. What percentage is rarely?
Like 5%.
It's about 5%. So Miss Evie is so beautiful. And she's saying,
Almost never.
almost never. About 5% of the time I iron my clothes. Well, it doesn't show.
Es que no tengo plancha.
You don't have an iron?
I have an iron, but
That's
I
what you're
don't
getting
have
for
an
your
ironing
birthday?
board.
That's what you're getting for your birthday.
I don't want an ironing board.
How often do you iron your clothes? And what day of the week do you iron your clothes? So, if I ask you simply how often, you can choose from any of the list here. Always, normally, usually, often. 70% of the time, often. Maybe, sometimes, 50-50, about 50-50. Occasionally, about 30% of the time. Or if it's all the way down here at the bottom, never, never, never. I never iron my clothes.
Well, I never.
How often do you normally iron your clothes? Let's put that sentence in the section below. Oh, look at you, Brenda, you're perfect. I hardly ever iron my clothes. Beautiful Brenda is just like beautiful Evie. Hardly ever. Almost none of the time. I hardly ever iron my clothes. Miss Brenda, this is a perfect sentence. You have your subject, and then you have your frequency, your verb, iron, and then your object, your clothes. So I hardly ever iron my clothes. Excellent sentence. Hi, Carlita. Good morning. I didn't even know you were here. I'm so happy. Hello. Okay, my teacher drinks coffee always. So Carlita wrote a very accurate sentence. My teacher drinks coffee always. Now, our subject, my teacher, beautiful. Then after the subject, we will put our adverb of frequency. So in this case, 100% of the time, always, and this is true, I always drink coffee. So she says, my teacher always drinks coffee. My teacher always drinks coffee. So Miss Carlita, beautiful sentence. Thank you so much. But we will put the word my teacher first, and then after the word always. So my teacher drinks coffee always? No. Almost, but no. My teacher always drinks coffee. It's true. My teacher always drinks coffee. Help that lady out. How often do you, how often do you go to restaurants? I used to never go to restaurants, and now I do all the time. I mean, what? I don't expose myself. How often do you go to restaurants? How often do you go to restaurants?
I didn't consent to it. I didn't send her anywhere.
Whatever, we get takeout. But nonetheless, it's like a lot of restaurant touring. I don't feel guilty.
No.
Excellent job, Ms. Carlita. Thank you. Okay, so how often do you go to restaurants? How often do you go to restaurants? I occasionally, because maybe 30% of the time, because I'm talking about me, and then we have our auxiliary, or excuse me, our adverb of frequency, occasionally go to restaurants. All right, so with our last few minutes, let's go to our reading. We'll read and then we'll do our quick quiz of sentence structure. If you have any questions, write your questions in the comment section below. Okay. I love this one because this talks about high heels, and I love high heel shoes. Okay. She has 2 pairs of high heels. One of them has laces.
Ooh.
That's some craziness. The other has a zipper. She has 2 pairs of running shoes. One of them is shiny. Look at you, Brenda. You're beautiful. Thank you for your sentence. Miss Brenda filled out my sentence, and she said, I occasionally go to restaurants. Perfect sentence, Miss Brenda. Thank you. Where was I? One of them is shiny. The other one is bright. She has 2 pairs of ballet flats. Now, the word ballet, the T está muda. So it's ballet, because it's a French word. Ballet flats. One of them is pink. The other is brown. She wears her shoes to parties. I do too. All right, this is very nice. Let's look at some of the vocabulary words here. The words laces and zipper and ¿qué más? We have one that's shiny and one that's bright. Let's look first at laces and zippers and high heels. So the search that you did before, Miss Evie, had a lot of beautiful examples. Excellent. So I don't have a zipper on today and I can't show you, but the zipper is the green thing to the right where you and it opens something up. And beautiful Brenda is asking the most excellent question. What are high heels? And also, what are laces? Can you pull up that search you did? I saw a lot of options with like, not the image, but the search. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Laces, I don't have laces to show you. Oh, perfect. Okay. So here we have, these are high heels. You see, they make you very alta. They make you very high. So we call them high heels. High heels are the ones usually where they're like this. And they're very high. High. Oh, those are so cute. Those are cute. Do you see the black ones with the little lace? Oh, yes. Oh, do you see here? The strings that go on the front part to tie in the front, those are laces. Laces. Let's do a quick search on laces, if you don't mind, Miss Evie. Laces we can use for tennis shoes, or sometimes, as you see here, high heels, laces. Usually, yes, good job. Usually, we use laces for athletic shoes or tennis shoes. The laces are the strings that you put in the shoes and you tie. We call the shoes that we use them on is laced shoes. So this shoe is a laced tennis shoe or a laced athletic shoe. You see the laces in the front and you tie them in the front. The high heels often do not have laces. They have buckles. But a high heel, or doesn't have anything. I need new shoes. Anyways, high heels are the best. Simply the best. And high heels Ooh, this is perfect. You're so smart. All right, tie your laces. I hope everyone can see this very clearly. I can't see this crazy clear, but no matter. The verb, yeah, high heels. Whew, I love high heels. Okay, so she is, the girl, or the mother in this case, is tying her daughter's laces. The verb you use for the laces is to tie. You tie your laces. Sometimes we say tie your shoes, but really you are tying the lace of the shoe. So, for example, if the shoe belongs to you, you tie your laces. Or you tie your shoelaces. Shoelaces, shoes. The laces are not the type of shoe, but the string that you use to tie the shoe. So for the tenis, we use laces. ¿Qué más? ¿Cuándo más utilizamos laces? Shoe. Oh yeah, with a high heel sometimes we use laces for the high heel. For boots sometimes as well, laces. So, let's see. We did zippers and we did laces. She has running shoes that are shiny and running shoes that are bright. Now, bright can talk about the color, like it's very, very strong and light in color. And shiny is like with glitter, or like my earrings are pretty shiny sometimes, a veces. Like there's light involved. I think the word brillante is good for both of those words. In English, the word bright can talk about the color being very strong, and shiny can talk about my watch is shiny. She's easily distracted because it's shiny. And this is true. Show me something shiny. I'll be like, wait, what?
I'm trying.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. We have only 5 minutes. So, okay, let's do our quiz. If you have any other questions about the words that you see here, I put them in the comment section below and we can answer those questions. Tennis shoes.
Okay.
Yep. Ah, these.
Shiny,
Bright.
bright.
Shiny. Bright. Those are some bright shoes. They will find you always. Like the government. If you owe them money, they will find you. All right, let's do a quiz.
Okay.
She jokes, but she's serious because it's true.
Oh, what are flats?
Oh, good
Type of
question.
shoes.
Flats. So we call flats sometimes ballet flats, or sometimes, because Americans are just a tiny bit lazy, we say flat. So ballet flats and flats are about the same. Beautiful Miss Evie is pulling up some images of ballet shoes and then ballet flats. They are simply the style of shoe that is flat. So not a high heel, but flat on the ground. I think that's a good example of a flat. There is a good example of a flat. So we have flat shoes, and we'll also call these ballet flats. So it's your choice. You can say flats, or you may say ballet flats. Now, we really should go to our quiz. We'll just do one sentence because we don't have any more time. Okay. They see us looking for shoes, and now that's all we get advertisements for.
I'm okay with that.
She paired high heels. She pairs high heels two of has. She pairs high heels two of has. Woof! All of the words. Okay. So, what is our subject? Who are we talking about? I'm going to wait for you, Miss Brenda, and for you, Miss Carlita, and for you, Miss Kelly, because I want you guys to give me a nice and good answer on this. She pairs high heels two of has. What is the subject here? Who are we talking about? What is this person doing? Okay. When we use our subject of who, I will wait. I am here to wait for you because you're so beautiful and wonderful students. So I will wait all night long. Ah, beautiful, Brenda. You're beautiful. Perfect. She, who? She. What? Has. Now, we use the word has and not have because we're talking about the third person. So she has. She has two pairs of high heels. She has two pairs of high heels. What does she have two pairs of? High heels. By the way, a pair is where you have two of something. For example, I have a pair of glasses. One glass, two glass. A pair, porque hay dos, a pair of glasses. Now, oh, my earrings! I have one, I have two. I have a pair of earrings. The pair is the two together. I have one hand, I have two hands. I have a pair of hands. I have one friend, I have two friends. I have a pair of friends. So with the shoes, she has two. Together, it makes one pair. But it says here, and Miss Brenda is correct, she has two pairs of shoes. To have pairs of shoes, it means that she has, ready? 4 shoes. 2 equals 1 pair, and the other 2 equals 2 pairs. She has 2 pairs of shoes. 2 pairs of shoes. I have 1 pair of shoes. Check. Let's check it. 100%. Gosh, we're wonderful. Miss Brenda, thank you so much for your participation. Beautiful Miss Kelly, thank you for your participation. Thank you, Miss Carlita, for coming. I missed you and love you. Okay, so on Monday, we will be on unit number 6 and close that out to lesson number 4. And we will talk about the past and the difference between the past and the present. We have a quiz to practice that, and we are done talking about our routines. There is, or should be, some homework for you in the Google Classroom. But if you have a question about anything in the Google Classroom, or if you have a question about the lesson for today, please put a note in the Google Classroom, or you can send me an email and I will respond to you over the weekend. Thank you, thank you, Thank you for your time and your patience. You are beautiful and wonderful students. You are more than we deserve. I hope that you have a good weekend. Please be safe and don't forget to practice, 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 because practice makes perfect. Thank you.